So you
should get started.
Yeah, go ahead and go with your book.
Well, hello and welcome to today's third day of the 2020 Louisiana Farm to School Conference. We are very excited that you're joining us again, and today we have quite the exciting program for you. We have two sessions. One will cover education at home, a subject that has become a reality for a lot of students during the COVID-19 pandemic. And then later on today, we will also cover success stories around the state. We are beginning today with a quick poll to see where people are from and just to break the ice a little. And then just as a reminder as well, if you have any questions throughout the presentation, please post these in the question and answer function at the bottom of your screen, and then those questions will be forwarded to the speakers and answered after the presentation. And if you look into the conference program, and there should be a link in the chat, it's full of resources and anything you may need to continue spread farm to school throughout the state. We will start today with you, I believe.
Mm-hmm. And I will end polling so everyone can see where everyone is watching from. It looks like the majority is from the southeast part of the states. Mm-hmm. Here I'm sharing the results now. Everyone should be able to see it. And we have a good amount of variety here with how everyone is currently involved in farm to school. So welcome.
Oh, great. All right, and with that, we'll get started with our first session.
Hi everyone, my name is Johanna Freeler and I'm with the LSU Ag Center's Louisiana Farm to School program. I'm the program manager for Seeds to Success, which is our newest program. We just launched it and I'm really excited to talk to you all about the amazing educational resources that we have available on the website. And for Louisiana teachers, we have an opportunity for y'all to sign up for free gardening materials like the seed starting tray, seeds, and we also have larger classroom garden boxes. So stay tuned for how you guys can sign up for those. I'm gonna hop right in and share my screen to walk through an informational overview of what the Seeds to Success program offers. So like I mentioned, this is under the Louisiana Farm to School program. We're also collaborating with the Department of Education. And the goal of this program is really to provide fun and engaging educational resources for teachers, parents, and students. And the great thing about this website and this program is that all of these gardening guides and lesson plans and activities can be done at school or at home, as we know a lot of students are learning virtually for this year. Seeds to Sow, it houses our comprehensive growing guides for fruit and vegetables that we recommend for Louisiana. Each guide and each crop will take you through seed to harvest in terms of selecting the right variety for our states and the conditions that you're growing in. It will tell you where, when, and how to plant, as well as how to harvest, and even recipes and taste tests for that product after the harvest. Seeds to Know, this is especially important for teachers and parents who are teaching. This is where our lessons and fun activities are. This will be grouped by grade range and by crops, so you can really pair fun activities with what you're growing. And we made sure as well that these activities and lessons can really be done at the classroom or in the home. And lastly, careers and resources. Our career section is just going to identify a couple of really important gardening, agriculture, and nutrition careers for those who have a real passion for this line of work. And resources, this is what we hope to be a shared space organized by region where you can actually advertise a person, place, or event that is doing work with agriculture so that we can all be connected and help engage people who really want to be involved. And I'm going to show you the actual website next, but just so you know, you will be able to create an account at seedstosuccess.com, where you'll be able to save specific growing guides for crops that you want to plant, as well as specific lesson plans and activities that you want to incorporate into your curriculum. And this is also where you'll be able to add those important agriculture resources to our resource page. And as I mentioned earlier, we'll also have an opportunity for Louisiana teachers to request those free growing materials. And that'll start off with the seed packets in 2021 and move into windowsill grow boxes and classroom container gardens. So now I'm going to hop right over to the website. You'll see that it kind of gives that overview that I was talking about. So you'll have an opportunity to head right to that Seeds to Grow, Sow or No section. And then you can also, if you have a specific crop that you're interested in getting right to, you can click on that here. And as you see, we have 16 crops I recommend for Louisiana, and we have guides written for them. And then as well, here are the lesson plans grouped by those age ranges. And then the resource page grouped by the 5 LSU Ag Center regions of the state. So let's start with the Seeds to Grow section. As I mentioned, I'll move my little bubble here. We have a bunch of getting started, guides, gardening terms, those planting zones, and that planting guide map. So I recommend starting here. And then once you kind of get an idea of what you want to grow, Seeds to Sow is where we house those 16 crop guides. So we'll head over to the lettuce section, and I'll show you everything that we kind of offer here. So as I mentioned, we'll start off with a little bit of a history. So this is also great for teachers who are incorporating specific crops into their lesson plans. This will give you a bit of a history that you can bring into the classroom, as well as talking about varieties of this different lettuce in this case. And then we have a table that will pop out with the recommended varieties for the state. We'll also walk you through when and how to plant lettuce and specifics on spacing and different things, as well as where to plant it and how to care for that plant. So things like watering, common insects that you'll face, or diseases. We have a very helpful table here for you to do kind of a diagnosis on your garden. Find out by what symptoms, what could that be, and what organic and natural management practices are available for you. And lastly, we'll cover harvest and storage. How to harvest, we include links to different resources or videos to really help you understand the correct way to do this. And then we'll also include links to different recipes or taste testing ideas. So this is what you'll be able to find in Seeds to Sow section. Seeds to Know section, let's go right into K through 2. And you'll see as well, this is organized by that crop. So you'll see the crop list on the left-hand side, or you can just go right into the pop-out box. So let's head right on down to lettuce. And you'll see a list of lesson plans or activities. And each of them will kind of open in a pop-out box. And we have all of our lesson plans linked to the Louisiana Student Standards. So you can be sure that what you're teaching is really linked to those important standards that you want to reach in the classroom. We'll also include helpful videos to kind of bring that process to life in the classroom, as well as books that you can incorporate. So that is a summary of Seeds to Know section. And career paths, you'll see that we have identified a couple of areas. You can dig deeper into those if they're of interest, and then resources as well, which is where you'll be able to add to the specific region of the state, and it will be grouped by parish. So please go in and add any people, places, and events related to local food, agriculture, farmers markets. We'd love to have those added in. So I would recommend when you hop onto this website, you can do it now as you watch, www.seedstosuccess.com. You want to create an account. So I went ahead and logged onto my account, so you'll see what this looks like. So here will be the place that teachers can put in a request for growing materials. This will be in 2021, but we encourage you to sign up now. And this will also show you where you've saved any of the curriculum and crop guides. You'll see I have a couple saved here, and I'll hop to one just so you can see what it would look like when you want to save one. Here I am in the Seeds to Sow section in the broccoli and cauliflower guide. And you'll see at the top here, you can do a bookmark for that guide, and that's when it will be saved in your account. Same with Seeds to Know. When we are looking at a lesson plan that you want to save, you'll also have a bookmark this lesson option right here, and it will be added to your account. So that's just kind of a quick overview of the website. I encourage you to get on now, www.seeds2success.com, create your account, and start saving these really cool lesson plans and crop guides and get growing. I also want to show you one last thing that we have as part of the project, which I think will also be really interactive and fun, is a Facebook group. So you'll be able to find our Seeds to Success Facebook group if you go to our Louisiana Farm to School program page and click on groups, and there we are, Seeds to Success. Or you can also type in www.facebook.com/groups/Seeds to Success LA. And you'll find this here. So we'd love for you to join the group, and we're really hoping that this will be a place where we can interact and connect with Louisiana gardeners and teachers, parents, growers of all ages, and really share tips and tricks for growing certain crops, as well as lesson plans and activities that your kids found really engaging that you want to share. We also love to see recipes and resources to really bring the food from the seed all the way to your table and get those kiddos to really enjoy it. So that is an overview of the program. I'll hop right back to that informational sheet, which again will be in our resources section of the program. I encourage you to share this. I encourage you to join the program, create an account, join the Facebook group, and share with all of your friends, family, teachers. We'd love to have everyone engaged. And if you have any questions or want more information, you can just shoot us an email at louisianafarmtoschool@agcenter.lsu.edu. Get growing, everyone. Thanks for listening.
Hello, my name is Mary Lagoria. I am one of the developers of the Louisiana Harvest of the Month Compendium. It is my pleasure today to introduce you to the compendium. This is a current Harvest of the Month school year calendar. The commodities in orange are the most prevalent for each month. For example, summer squash is the most prevalent commodity in August, and eggplants are the most prevalent commodity in September. Today we're going to take a look at two lessons from the Harvest of the Month Compendium. In the first lesson, Seed Sleuth, we will learn how to identify plant families with seeds. In the second lesson, Why is my eggplant turning brown?, we will begin with an introduction to the origin and history of the eggplant. Students will then observe the browning of the eggplant slices and learn that this process is a chemical reaction called oxidation. Students then will engineer a process to inhibit the oxidation of their eggplant slices. Seed Sleuth. This lesson consists of one simple table which could easily be overlooked, but it's a powerful lesson about identifying plant families using only seeds. It addresses Louisiana's student standards for science, Life Science 3-1 for both first and third grades. These are the grades where students learn about heredity and inherited traits in both plants and animals. This past summer, at the Louisiana School Garden Training, Dr. Kiki Fontenot, Dr. Pam Blanchard, and I piloted this lesson with teachers. To set up the activity, we placed a few seeds from each vegetable on a plate with its fruit or seed package, if the fruit was not available. Then the teachers, Seed Sleuth, examined the properties of the different vegetable seeds. They compared and contrasted the properties to determine which vegetables were related. As they matched the seeds, they grouped the seeds together to form plant families. Many teachers were very surprised that peppers, tomatoes, and eggplants are in the same family, the nightshade family. But when you look at the seeds, it's pretty obvious. They're almost identical. Now it's your turn to be a seed sleuth. Look at the properties of each kind of seed in the top row. Then examine the seeds of the bottom row. Can you find the seeds that are related? Did you match the chard with the beet? That one was pretty easy. The next match is a cucumber with the squash seed. The scarlet runner bean and edamame are both in the legume family. They're both what we call beans. The last is a tomato and the eggplant. They go together. They are both a member of the nightshade family, and their seeds are almost identical. Let's take a closer look at the seeds in the different plant families. For example, the chard family. We can see that the chard and the beet are very, very similar, but the spinach, which is the last one, is a little bit different, but it still has that hard seed coat, and if you look closer, you can see that there are those creases and ridges, just like the chard and the beet. In the next row, we have the legume family. We have scarlet runner beans, the edamame, and we have snap bean seeds. They all are beans, and our students should be pretty familiar with those. Most of those in the vegetables are edible. Okay, so next slide. Now that we have grouped the seeds together in their families, we can see the similarities. The cucumber, pumpkin, and squash have a similar shape, although they are different sizes, and they have a very hard seed coat. The tomato plant, eggplant, and pepper have a tiny little disc-shaped seed, and the Braccilia family, the kale, the broccoli, and the mustard greens have little tiny spears in the different colors of orange and black and browns. A good extension to this lesson would be to collect the leaves, flowers, and stems of these and other plant families and compare their unique properties. For example, if a plant has a square stem, it is a member of the mint family. After teaching this lesson, I think that looking at seeds is really the easiest way to identify the plant families. Vegetable plant family members. Here's a few more members of the plant families that we didn't look at. So here in the beet family, we see the spinach and the Swiss chard. The Braccilia family, we have broccoli, arugula, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, cauliflower, kale, and a couple others. The carrot family includes the cilantro, dill, fennel, parsley, and parsnip. The cucurbits are the cucumbers, the melons, the pumpkins, and squash. The grass family has corn, but we know that our grains are also in the grass family, but in this chart we're just looking at the vegetables. The legumes include beets and peas, and the nightshade family are the eggplants, pepper, potato, tomatillas, and the tomatoes. And then the onion family includes chives, garlic, leek, and shallot. The sunflower family includes artichokes, endive, lettuce, and tarragon. Why did my eggplant turn brown? This lesson focuses on the browning or oxidation of an eggplant when it is cut or bruised. Students will engineer a process to prevent eggplant browning. Then they will perform a controlled experiment to test their process to see if it inhibits the browning of the eggplant. Students should have prior knowledge of chemical and physical changes. This lesson addresses Louisiana Student Standard for Science, Physical Science 1-4 for 5th grade. Teacher prep. The day before this lesson, you should purchase or collect from your home an apple, 2 large purple eggplants, a variety of eggplants, different liquids such as lemon juice, apple juice, milk, dry ingredients such as salt and flour, and a variety of wraps such as aluminum foil, plastic wrap. The teacher should cut a half-inch slice off the bottom of one eggplant, peel the skin, cut off the slice, and leave it to be exposed to the air overnight. Wrap the rest of the eggplant in plastic and refrigerate it. Do the same for the apple. Day 1 of the lesson. Cut the eggplants into half-inch slices, 2 slices for each group of students, and immediately pass the slices to each group. Okay, if we look at our picture, both of these slices were cut from the same eggplant. The eggplant slice on the left has been exposed to the air and not refrigerated. The flesh shows signs of oxidation or browning. The eggplant slice on the right is a freshly cut slice. Day 2, engineering a process to inhibit the oxidation of eggplant slices. Students will use this paper to step them through designing a process to prevent oxidation. Then they will treat one of their slices and the second one will be used for comparison the next day to see if their process really worked. Day 3, peer sharing. This is the most important day of the lesson. On this day, students will see the results of their treatment and ask themselves, did it work? They will use the untreated slice to compare the treated slice to see if the process of treatment inhibited oxidation. Then we will come together as a class, share our results, both the successes and the failure. The most important thing students learn is to see failure as part of the learning and design process. The scientists that invented 409 failed 408 times before they finally succeeded in producing the ultimate cleaning formula. Students learn from other students' failures and successes how to improve their process. Then they try their new process on a new eggplant slice. Day 4. Students check their second trial to see if they had better results. We take time to share our successes and failures and discuss what we learned about oxidation, chemical changes, and more important, how we learned that we really learned a lot more from failed attempts than if we had succeeded in the first attempt. Afterwards, we extend the lesson by looking at other everyday examples of oxidation like rust and copper patina. Like the Statue of Liberty.
Hello and welcome. Today we will be sharing with you some farm to school resources that can help you with your school and your classroom. I am Jen Duhon, a registered dietitian with Dairy Max. I work in both school marketing and the health and wellness program here in Louisiana, and I have experience that you can trust. As a registered dietitian, having worked in clinical, management, public health, and most recently as a nutrition extension agent through the LSU Ag Center, you can say that I have a passion for connecting people with agriculture and where their food comes from. You can also say that I am an advocate because I love connecting people with understanding how important agriculture is to our everyday and future. Many of you are familiar with Dairy Max, but for those of you who aren't, I want to share just a little bit. Founded more than 40 years ago, Dairy Max is one of the leading regional dairy councils in America and an affiliate of the National Dairy Council. So simply put, Dairy Max is your local dairy council. We represent more than 900 dairy farming families, and we serve communities in several states, including Louisiana. Our farmers work hard 365 days a year to feed millions with a truly nutritious food. Dairy Max is part of a nationwide effort to promote American agriculture and support dairy farming, as well as drive impact for every one of our dairy farmers. Our organization operates with 5 audience outreach programs, including business development, consumer marketing, health and wellness, industry image, and also school marketing. Today, I will share with you some of our resources that can help with your farm to school efforts. First, we have a great program called Adopt a Cow. So forget about the guinea pig. How about adopting a 1,500-pound dairy cow for your classroom mascot? And don't worry about having to find a pen to hold this animal. The photos and stories we'll send to you will make her life on the farm come alive to your students within your classrooms, both in person and virtually. So I want you guys to know that this program is completely free. There are no costs from beginning to end. There's no approval process as well. Once you complete and submit your enrollment form, your classroom will be registered. Registration for each academic year is August 1st to October 15th. So the deadline is coming up. And let it be known that no information will be sent out until the calves are born and registration has closed, which should be around November. Hoping that many of you are back in your classrooms by this point, or at least teaching hybrid so that you can have a little bit more interaction with your students. So timeline of events. Within November, you should receive an introductory video sent via email and a kit with details about how to host a form and CAF presentation. In January and March, you will receive updates. And in April and May, you'll have an opportunity to live chat with your CAF and a host via YouTube. A little bit of information on eligibility. Almost everyone is eligible to participate. You need to be either teaching in a traditional classroom setting, hosting through homeschooling or virtual. This can be run through an after-school program or even facilitated through your library program. You can also have an agriculture program within a museum or kids center. And you can do this from within the United States and even share with your friends outside of the United States. So throughout the program, you'll find out what your cow's name is, what's their birth date, and where they live and how the farmer actually takes care of them. You'll also get photos of the cow, activity sheets for your students, and a full PowerPoint of information with photos and suggested lessons that follow Common Core standards. We also encourage classes to fully engage in this program and even write letters to their calf and the farm family, not only to practice your writing skills, but also to show the love for your calf. In the end, we'll keep you posted in her progress while you and your students enjoy the cuteness of your adorable calf. The Adopt a Cow program is just one of the many programs that is offered through Dairy Discovery. Now I want to move on to Fuel Up to Play 60. Again, several of you are probably familiar with this amazing program that is sponsored by National Dairy Council in coordination with the NFL and the USDA. Fuel Up to Play 60 is a free, science-based youth wellness program that creates real change in your students' health, as well as increasing their leadership and academic performance. This is the largest in-school wellness program in the country, and due to its flexibility, it is adaptable for distant and hybrid learning. Fuel Up to Play 60 is easy to execute and fun for your students. Through digital resources, Fuel Up to Play 60 offers a variety of monthly fun facts, meal planning information for parents, and links to find out where food comes from. This can include virtual tours, digital handouts, and fun experiments. Also, My Plate tips, parents' guide to activities and lifestyles, and a Fuel Up to Play 60 training camp video. The list goes on and on. And new this year is the Fuel Up to Play 60 homeroom, which is designed to help with virtual learning. This is the hub where any program advisors, teachers, anyone, any adult who wants to be able to get a little bit more information and easy to understand how Fuel Up to Play 60 can work for you, both virtually and hybrid. It can be found here at the Fuel Up to Play 60 homeroom. And Dairy Max has a new curriculum of Farm to School, which goes hand in hand with Fuel Up to Play 60. While developing the curriculum, it was vital in that we align Fuel Up to Play 60 within this curriculum as a vehicle for students to learn about health and fitness, which also supports science, health and PE, and meets curriculum standards. Sustainable nutrition was another focus, showcasing how farmers protect the land and the waterways and strive to leave it in better condition for the next generation. We have several modules and lesson plans that you will be able to go through. This also helps focus on what farmers' hard work helps produce good food for all of us to eat, as well as what farmers do to care about the land and animals. With the 4 lesson plans, you will get Legendary Cows. This lesson teaches how a farm operates and talks about sustainability as well, and goes through the different breeds of cows. Then there'll be Farm to Fridge, which provides an overview of the journey of milk from farm to fridge, how it's produced, its freshness and simplicity, and the story that helps connect milk with the local dairy farm families. Staying Healthy with Milk. This is a hands-on learning with worksheets, videos, and students will get to learn why milk is an important part of your daily diet. Through the swirling of milk dairy science activities, students will be able to see how vitamins and minerals and proteins interact within milk. And lastly, students will also learn how dairy farms are a true model of sustainability by viewing the Dairy Max Stewards of the Land videos. Brain food. In this unit, students will review the importance of brain food. Collectively, students will discuss healthy eating options and the importance of dairy foods and MyPlate recommendations through the USDA. And throughout the curriculum, teachers will get great resources, such as the 2-page teacher overview, which will contain all the links and suggested timing for these lessons. And it's important to note, while this curriculum standards are marked for K through 3rd grade, many of these resources can be used for almost any grade level. In addition, digitally, the teacher will have access to the dairy science activities as mentioned, as well as fun and educational activities. And lastly, connections to Fuel Up to Play 60 and how the Farm to School curriculum can fit into your Fuel Up to Play 60 plan. The targeted release date is between October 5th and October 12th, and the link will be provided to you guys in the resource section. So let's talk a little bit about next steps of what you can do. Again, I want to encourage you to sign up for fueluptoplay60.com. Get your school signed up. You can work with a small group of students within your school, a specific grade level, or open it up to your entire school to help participate. You can still log in and review the steps and plays as many of you were used to doing. And I really encourage you to work with me one-on-one if you need any help with working through any of these resources we provided to you today. Dairy Max is committed. We are committed to students' health and nutrition and really engaging and understanding where food comes from. It's one of the most important things that we can do to teach our students. You have my email here, and I encourage you to reach out. I will be glad to help you guys. Thanks so much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the conference.
Good morning. Denise Email with the Fast Food Farm. The Fast Food Farm is located in Gramercy. The contact information is listed on the first slide. The Fast Food Farm has many hands-on activities we normally do at the farm. So when the pandemic hit, we pivoted to drive-through activities in phase 2 and grab-and-go activities. On this slide is the list of the activities that are available in this presentation. The activities listed are recycling seed pots, My Little Sprout House, Sprouting Fingers, Grow Gardens, Mini Greenhouse, and What's in My Lunchbox. These activities are also available in classroom kits for a small fee. Please contact me for more information. On this next slide, you will be able to click on some of the images for access to the activity. First example, click on the little red house frame on the left, and the cardboard house to use an activity will pop up. Then click on the red house frame on the right, and the activity will pop up. Next example, click on the vegetable plots. The right plot will pop up the Grow Garden activity. The center plot will pop up the cover picture for the lid. And the plot on the left will pop up a video to show how it is done. You will be able to click on the 2 greenhouses, the gardener, the potted plants, and 3 lunch boxes to access more activities. The next slide is to talk about the 3 organizations who have many links for resources for use to teachers. I have gone through and selected some geared to the Farm to School. The 3 organizations are American Farm Bureau Foundation for Agriculture, National Ag in the Classroom, and Louisiana Ag in the Classroom. And as I said, there are many resources available through these organizations. The first organization is American Farm Bureau Foundation for Agriculture. The first link on this slide is the website link, where you can get free resources. AFBFA has done a great job pivoting to providing at-home activities. You can also follow American Farm Bureau Foundation's Facebook page or the Fast Food Farms Facebook page for the update on those at-home activities. Just last week, the foundation posted an at-home activity. How did that get in my lunchbox? If you go to that post, you will be able to watch the How Did That Get Into My Lunchbox book being read online, as well as do an activity and play a game. That book also connects to the activity that is available on the Google slide with the Fast Food Farm activities. The next link is on the farm STEM, where you can get resources on beef plus others. The projects link is where you will find the My American Farm app. The My American Farm is an educational game platform used to engage pre-K through 5th grade learners. The free site offers agriculturally themed games and more than 100 educator resources. The next link is the Purple Plow Challenge. It's STEM learning, which encourages students grades 5th through 12th to research scenarios related to food, hunger, and sustainability, and build their own prototypes to the defined problem. The current challenge is go with the flow. How can we improve the quality of our runoff and, in turn, reduce dead zones in our water resources? You can also find past Purple Plow challenges on this site to do as a classroom challenge. The next 2 links are opportunities to apply for grants and scholarships. The next slide is the National Agriculture in the Classroom. The first link is the website. The next link is the Curriculum Matrix. The Matrix is an online searchable topic and subject and standard-based curriculum map for kindergarten through 12th grade teachers. After you find what you need, consider storing them in your personal binder, My Binder. The best part of the binder is that when a lesson is updated, it is also updated in my binder. Along with the lessons are companion resources that come in forms of the book, activity, kits, etc. Many of the activities I do at the farm is adapted from companion resources. The next link is e-learning resources recently added to the site. And next, you're able to resource state ag facts as well as state ag programs. And next is Agro World. Under this link on the slide is food and nutrition. And I pulled themes for learning for grades kindergarten through 10th that may interest you. As you look on this slide, there are many different activities, lessons that you can connect to in the themes of both elementary, middle school, and high school levels. And at the bottom of this slide, there is also grant and scholarship opportunities. The next slide is Louisiana Ag in the Classroom. The first link is the website. The next link brings you to a list of commodities of our state. It gives you information about each top commodity. Next is our new commodity map that is now interactive, where you can click on that commodity and get the information about it. And next links are the lesson plans and make and takes. And on those lesson plans and make and takes, there are many of them, and many of those also connect back to the National Ag in the Classroom lesson plans as well. And last are the opportunities for teachers to apply for the Teacher of the Year. As I close this presentation, I would like to share with you this quote from Ben Franklin that hangs on the wall in our kids' kitchen at the fast food farm. Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I remember. Involve me and I learn. Thank you.
Okay, I think that we're back. Here we go, stop sharing. All right, so now we are back for Q&A with our speakers.
And we have a poll going now that you're welcome to answer, asking about which vegetable are you most interested in growing with kids. And we also have our speakers, Jen joining us, Mary.
Okay, you're on. Yeah, so we're gonna have everybody muted aside from who is asking and answering questions right now. So we're looking for Jen Duhan and Mary Lagoria, Denise Email. I'm sure Dr. Hodson has some questions as well. And just a reminder, we do have a poll that just got launched too for which vegetables are you most interested in growing with kids. So take a second to answer that while we go through the Q&A. One of the top questions we had was, are these resources free? Do I need to be a member of some sort to get these resources? So I think that's to all panelists.
Denise, do you want to start since you answered it in the Q&A?
Yeah, sure. Yes, everything that I have presented is free from the fast food farm. We even put the kits together, providing all the supplies for a small fee, but to give that information, that whole lesson, that whole companion resource is free. And through the organizations that are also put up there as resources, many of those are free. They also have kits that are provided. That's all put together for the teachers to make it more convenient as well. But most all lesson plans are free. Since I did that video, both the American Farm Bureau Foundation for Agriculture as well as the National Ag in the Classroom has updated their websites and made it even more user-friendly and for at home as well as at school.
Jen, what about your resources?
Yes, all of our resources are free. And if you are in the program, the conference program, and you go to each of us that just presented, all of the headings are live links as well. So they will get you to exactly where you need to be website-wise for both the Adopt the Cow, Fuel Up to Play 60, our Farm to School curriculum, as well as our website and our recipe resources.
Great. All right. And Mary, what about the resources that you shared?
Okay. They're all available on the the Harvest of the Month site, and some of them on the Seeds to Know also.
Yeah, exactly. We had a little bit of an overlap, and you can see some of her lessons also on the Seeds to Success website. And all the resources on there are also free, and then Louisiana teachers can sign up for the free gardening materials on that site as well, creating an account.
Did you want to go over our poll or ask another question?
Sure. So I just shared the results from the poll, and it looks like leafy greens are everyone's favorite for what they're interested in growing, and that will actually be one of the seeds that we'll send out with the Seeds to Success website. So that's great news for us. We also had a question come in for Jen about how would someone get involved in adopting a cow? Where should they go?
So I just linked the website here in our chat, but it's discoverdairy.com and then /adopt-a-cow. But it's also, if you go to our resources in the conference guide, that link will take you directly there. So just hover over the title Adopt a Cow and it'll bring you directly to that website.
And is that in our program as well under the resources? Great. Okay, great. So it can also be found in our conference program. Dr. Hodson, do you have any questions for our speakers?
First off, I wanted to ask, in fact, what I enjoy so much about all of the presentations, it involves a lot of hands-on activities. And in talking to parents who are trying to help their children at home, they're looking for things that are away from a computer screen. Because so many of the materials that are sent from the schools are virtual, then of course they have to be done online. But so many of the things that our speakers talked about do involve some things that will get them away from that computer screen and maybe do some more hands-on activities. For Mary, I have a question now. To access the Harvest of the Month material, someone does have to register, and it's also available to parents. They can also participate.
Yes,
They could just merely go to the site and register. Is that how they access the materials?
Joanna might know. Do they have to register, Joanna?
You can download the compendium with those lessons right off of the website. You can register if you actually want the printed materials, and Crystal is also looking to jump in and add anything
Good. Yeah,
to that. But
to understand that.
Yeah.
Now, many of the lessons, like if you go to the Ag in the Classroom lessons, you do have to register, but everything is free. We made sure of that. And you don't have to be a teacher. It can be anyone.
Anyone. And where do you go to register? The Harvest of the Month site?
yes, on the LSU Ag Center, and we have that linked in the resources page and should also be in the chat.
There's a whole Harvest of the Month part of our website, and you can find all kinds of resources there and where to sign up and more information, as well as procurement resources that we went over last week with Crystal, guides for the cafeteria, guides for the producer. We have all different aspects of it there in all of our materials and resources. But we only have about 5 minutes left before we're going to go to a break. So if there's anything that our speakers want to add, as far as maybe something you didn't get to say in your video, or talking about, educational resources during COVID, feel free to step in. We don't have that many other Q&As.
Okay, I have something to say. The the Seeds to Know and the compendium both have a lot of videos that we took a lot of time looking for, because I mean with teachers it takes time to look for all those resources, and really right now they're really stressed, they don't have much time. So, and parents too, so that we found really good resources that were age appropriate and interesting, not, you know, it's kind of, a lot of times you get on there and they're kind of boring. These are really good resources and they really need, you know, to be looked at. Don't overlook that. So thank you.
Yeah, and thank you to our speakers. We really enjoyed looking through all the resources that you guys have available. And Mary, I liked that you did one of the activities. We were sitting here all staring at our screen, like trying to match the seeds and everything. It's very what's that word?
So I'm trying to get them away from the computers. You can do it like that, you know. So
yeah. Maybe just go buy a few seed packets instead, put them all on the table and try and do it instead of on the computer.
Yeah, or cut the fruit itself, you know, pull out the seeds.
There you go, true. And then you have something to eat too.
That's what you want to get them to do.
All right, do we have any other questions? Maybe from, let's see, we usually have Kathy around too. Yeah, this is the time for our attendees to put into the Q&A. But the amazing free resources. I'm really excited about this. And for all the parents that are at home too, trying to find something to do. This isn't just for teachers to use, but an activity for you to do after school or on the weekends, a way to get involved with, you know, kids of all ages and have them get more involved with their food. Miss Denny, are you still doing field trips right now or anything like that?
I have, but however, most schools cannot take field trips right now, like small groups. Different schools, like with small numbers, will have booked some for the future. But that's why I've been doing these grab and goes and making offers that I'll put these together and get it to them. Like we can't even have our Ag Day this year because of the pandemic. So we are now doing backpacks for every second and third grade student in St. James Parish. So I could do like items of such to surrounding parishes and whatever. But we're getting together right now for the end of October to do such things. And we just feel there's such a need, like Pam had brought up, I think earlier, about the parents and everyone being so stressed out about everyone constantly being before the computer. We just trying to connect to some of those lesson plans that they're dealing with virtually to put this hands-on method into before the teachers, the parents, everyone. And I'll so gladly help anyone. If they just contact me, I'll do whatever just to send them the whole little lesson plan. Like they will see what's all listed on it with what they need, what they have to do, everything spelled out for them. And go as far as putting the kit together for them.
Great. Thank you, Denny. I just wanted to say also that this education session, although this was really, really needed for people that are learning at home and for teachers that need more farm to school resources, this was our opportunity to take our exhibitors from our conference, which we have a whole floor of, and put them into a session so that we can put all of these resources together. So when you're flipping through your program, you'll see that this education session takes up, you know, the bulk of the pages there, because we have so many resources we wanted to share with everybody from our fantastic exhibitors, reaching out to all of them. Did we have another question we wanted to ask about the difference between how might you use these resources at home versus in the classroom? Is there a difference there? And I'll put that to Jen first. You know, some of the resources that you went over, is it different doing it in the classroom than doing it at home?
Well, each of our opportunities will have both in person and then those that need to be digital. And in fact, it'll also have elements where parents can be involved as well. So you'll be able to do either or. And even if, like I said, if you're teaching hybrid and you have some kids in the classroom where some are going to be virtual, there are ways that you can be able to connect all of the students. So there's going to be an opportunity to do both.
That's great. Do any of our other panelists want to pitch into how their lessons might be different?
And I have done the same for when we do it directly to teachers. It's a full-fledged lesson plan as well as the hands-on that connects. But when we knew we had to go to parents and doing it on, we simplified that. We still gave them some true basic facts connecting within lessons, but simplified it for the parents to be able to easily get the message, the facts across to their children and get it in a simpler version.
I know Mary and I selected lessons for Seeds to Success that we knew we could do in the classroom or at home as well. You can speak a bit more to that, Mary.
I think they're very parent friendly. You know, they're in everyday language. They're actually probably easier, some of them, on the commodities to do at home because you have the, you know, the fruits and vegetables readily available, or and you can walk outside and things like that. So I think they're very, very home learning friendly.
Great, thank you. And that actually wraps us up for our education session. We're going to take a 10-minute break for everybody to have a moment to get ready for our success story, which will start at 11:05. So leave your computers on, just go around and get a new cup of coffee or something, and we will be right back in about 10 minutes.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.